We are live. Seriously, if I could have some like bomb ass music right now to say like we are live, and I'm here with Ashley after our attempt yesterday, but we did it. We're here live and I'm stoked. Welcome to Successful as Fuck, the funnest live stream show on the interwebs, if I do so say. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
I am your host, Riah Gonzalez, and I'm here today with Ashley Holmes. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share.
Yes, and you have a lot to share. I'm really pleased to share what your topic is, because I think it's one that is so crucial and so beneficial for people to hear about. It's not one that's really talked about as much. And women need to know that they're not alone. And so let's just dive in. But I first want to know more about you, and I want to hear about what you do.
Sure. So, as a holistic fertility coach, I am helping women who are struggling to conceive at this present moment and they haven't had success yet. So, that means just connecting mind, body, and spirit and getting them back and as close to their optimal state of health with all systems, functioning as optimally as possible to give them that best chance to conceive, because that is the ultimate goal and that's what they're striving for. And that is the dream they really want. And it can be really frustrating and challenging and lonely when it's not happening month after month.
Yeah, absolutely. We had talked about a little about how, well, I never had well, and I'm grateful that I never had the struggle in the way that many women do have that struggle. I've had so many friends and family members who have, and I have such compassion for seeing the just the sadness every month. You know,
Yes.
there's hope, and then there's just this deep sadness, and it feels like it's an impossible thing. And so I'm just so grateful that there are people like you out there that can give them other options, because not everybody wants to go the route of like immediately hopping on medication train, although there's nothing wrong with that either. But yeah, I just love that you're giving them alternatives to augment that, or to do that instead if they feel that they want to work with their body holistically and see, if that will work for them. So I love that. Um,
I
we're going to
feel
dive a little bit into your story, and I want to talk about before everything that you went through in this topic. Tell us a little bit about where you were at and what your mindset was and what you thought your life was going to be like, what success looked like for you.
I think as a society, we're conditioned to have the career, get married, have kids. And when all of that doesn't fall into place, and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't what it was supposed to look like. This isn't how it's supposed to feel. And then starting to explore those options and realizing this could not happen potentially. And, you know, it's a big fear to face, and it's not a comfortable one. And so I, went the traditional medical intervention route the first time. And yes, I achieved success and I'm very blessed with twins, but it took years to get there. Whereas when I started incorporating yoga and meditation and holistic practices into my life, it just opened up my body and my body came back into alignment and balance the way it's meant to be naturally without anything else. And it was like, wow, I conceived naturally. Like I made this happen. And I broke through that limited belief that I had that I couldn't conceive without an external source. And I didn't want to go through that again. I wasn't going to put my mind and my body through that again.
Right.
So that was a choice I had made. I was like, hey, I got boy girl twins. Like that's kind of the ultimate dream, right? And I was
Right.
like, I can't do that again. I
Yeah.
just didn't have the bandwidth to ever go that route again. And it was like, I didn't need to go that route again.
Yeah.
Hooray. We are so powerful. And when we can, work with our energy and work with our body and really just embrace everything, embrace the whole journey instead of resisting it and sort of surrender into what is not a comfortable journey at all. But, there can be peace in the process, and that is what I'm offering.
Yeah, I think in the book too, I talk a lot about surrender. Actually, there's two chapters on surrender. There's one that's more of a spiritual surrender and talks about my journey spiritually. And then there's one that talks from a more non-spiritual surrender, which yours could be either way. You know what I mean? Like just allowing your body and your psyche and like your being to just lay back and just say, I submit in the best of ways to what can be possible for me.
Yeah.
And I think success really depends on that. And we don't like that. We don't like the thought that we don't have control.
No.
We don't like the thought that we can't just make things happen for ourselves because we're so used to working hard and making things happen. And I'm
It's the opposite
absolutely,
that you need to happen, though.
yes.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
that's
go
really
ahead.
a big learning of, shifting that's totally what it was just shifting that locus of control from external to internal. What can I do and what can I control in my everyday life, that's gonna get me what I want? And it really is like not shifting everything to the doctors and to the experts and really looking inward and tuning in to what it is that you actually need.
Yeah, absolutely. After you were able to have your children and you went through that experience, and we didn't even talk about how in like invasive the medical intervention really is, and the trials of having to go through having that type of medicine, the way that it makes you feel, the just the whole, like, it takes over your body because you are trying to force your body to do
Mhm.
something. And yes, it is often successful, but it's often heartbreaking when you're forcing your body to do something and it is painful and it is makes you not feel good and may change your mood and may do all these things, and then you're not successful in the outcome that you're looking for. I mean, that just has to be, I imagine, to be heartbreaking because you feel like, what, why am I doing all of this?
Mhm.
Why am I doing this to myself? Whereas with your method, it's like um life-giving,
Yes.
literally.
It
Like,
literally is like infusing your body and your life with life force, because going through infertility is draining your life force energetically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually, and I had a big disconnect when I was trying to conceive the first time around. I was in my 20s, and I wasn't connected to my mind and my body and my spirit. And that made all the difference in all areas of my life. And I'm so grateful for that,
yeah.
because it really was the most awakening moment on my yoga mat that I've ever had. And I was like, wow, like there is so much power within and energy within, and you just need to shine a light of awareness on that and shift things and move things. And that's why my program is, for your whole body, all of you, and not just a piece of you, so that you feel whole and complete. Because I certainly didn't the first time around, I felt like a failure,
Yeah.
you know?
And isn't that the truth? Like, when we're going through adversity, so much of it, I think, really all true adversity is outside of our control, yet we feel that we are a failure and we take on the responsibility for the outcome, even though we didn't cause it, although that's not true. Sometimes we do cause it, but we are often out of control of how it can resolve itself for
Right.
most of the time. And
It's
yet
really
we just hold
shifting.
it as our own responsibility, when we have no control over what could happen. I just think, yeah, and to take on also, like, to add on, like I was saying, the invasive and difficulty of feeling emotional, but also your body is like being invaded by making you more emotional because of the
Mhm.
medical intervention. It's like, I need to process what's happening, but I'm also dealing with um extra. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, it's an
I can, and again,
influx
I
of
can only imagine.
it's just an influx of hormones and all these foreign things that you're not used to, right? And it just amplifies everything. And it's just stressing out your body, really, and just making you release more cortisol into your system, which you don't need. That is your stress response. And you want to move from fight or flight mode into rest and digest mode. So nothing that I'm offering is, a fiery yang lifestyle. It's very yin and calming and cooling for your nervous system because that's what you need. That is
Yeah,
what made
yeah,
all of the difference from having, feeling like I was forcing it and trying to make it happen. And also just we don't realize what's lying in our subconscious mind, and it's once you become conscious and aware of things and it's like, wait, that's not serving me, I'm going to rewrite that program because wow, that has been running my life and I don't want it to anymore.
right, right. Would you say that in your current state that that's what success means for you, that you were able to make that mindset shift? Like, just right now in today, that you feel that a success was the fact that you were able to shift your mindset from, I need external validation, I need external intervention, to, I have the power to work with my body internally, and magical things can happen. And and again, we don't want to say that this is going to happen for every single woman, because it's not necessarily going to happen for every single woman, but the acceptance that comes with it, the love for yourself that comes with it, can be magical. And so, would you say that that would be what you would define success right now in your life? Or how would you define success right now?
Absolutely. I think success is within. It's internal and it's not all these external things in our lives that we think are what make us successful. It's just being open to receive and to possibilities. And, I didn't necessarily know or understand how everything was working within me at the time, but it's only like going back and being like, wow, I was able to create that. I was able to heal my sacral chakra and to, you know, have a baby naturally when I never thought I was going to be able to. And that's really empowering. So it's really, you know, just laying it all out there for people and saying, this is what's available to you, because oftentimes it's not the way that we were raised, or it's not the way that we traditionally seek, support, but it's
Right,
definitely a benefit and there's no harmful side effects whatsoever for what I'm offering.
right,
It's like
right.
work with your constitution, the way you arrived on this earth, and work with the elements that are dominant in your body and give your body what it needs.
Yeah. Looking forward, what would you say would be an amazing milepost, something that you would really love to achieve, and you would feel that you would, if you got there, you would feel like, hot diggity damn, success for me, in the future? What would success look like for you in the future?
Success in the future is, being able to help more and more women as my family grows as well, right? So right now I'm a part-time entrepreneur and one day I will be a full-time entrepreneur, but it just means that as my family grows, the more women I can help, the larger that ripple effect is going to be. And that is just, helping someone to have a baby is just like the best gift you could give someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I always end my show, and you have absolute permission to take a moment to think of this, but I always end my show with one question that I love, love, love the answer. And it does not have to do, like, you do not have to do it on the topic, but tell us about the best piece of advice you've ever been given on any topic, personal, professional, or it could be like a mantra that you have, or something that you've read, or something that you've heard. Just a little snippet of something that has got you through or has encouraged or inspired you. What would that be in your life? What has that been?
I think one of the most enlightening things that was ever said to me by one of my mentors when I was doing my yoga training was, "You don't have a problem, you are the problem." And it was a complete reframe and shift in perspective, and really just taking ownership of what is showing up in your life and why is it showing up in your life, and it's
Yeah,
there with a message to receive. So ignoring it and pushing it away or pretending it's not there isn't helpful, isn't going to help you get where you want to go. It's just going to keep showing up, and it's just always been something I've come back to because it's like, wait a minute, I don't want to face this, but I need to face this because it's
yeah,
there for a reason.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for sharing with us today and for being so vulnerable in your journey and all the things that you've learned. And thank you so much for helping women in this process that's difficult, but can be a healing and beautiful process for them. We have included Ashley's contact information in the show notes and comments below. So I encourage you to reach out to Ashley regarding her services, and keep an eye out. The pre-sale for Successful as Fuck the book is coming out next month. So I would absolutely love and adore you for your support. We will also be releasing a um, opt-in for just getting in on all the goodies and the pre-launch lists that are for the exclusive SAF fans. So thank you to everyone for listening and for supporting us. We appreciate you so much, and we will see you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.